Hello everyone! Welcome to a DSP video. Now, I woke up this morning thinking, man, I really want to hear some dumb shit, and because I ended up reading Dragon Killer's posts about this video, and oh, it's gonna be a doozy, because I was getting headaches already just by reading the text. I was like, I can't imagine how worse it can be in video form. I just couldn't fathom it, so I decided that I am going to fathom it. I'm going to watch the video, so let's watch the video and we can react to this. Now, I did see the PlayStation 4 Pro announcement and all that. You know, I already talked about this in the previous video, so there you go. Let's get started.
What's going on, everyone? Darkside Phil here with a special vlog.
Oh, remember, he also put on a poll asking would his fans want to see a King of Fighters review or a Deus Ex review or this? And I think Deus Ex won the poll, so good job, Phil. Good job.
Because earlier this morning...
Oh, wait, no, he did... I think the poll was just between Deus Ex and King of Fighters. I think he just did this anyway. But remember, reacting to things is dumb, and he didn't even watch the fucking... press conference that was like 45 minutes. It wasn't that long.
Sony held a large-scale press conference.
Oh, large scale.
We're super hyped to watch this live press conference. And they talked about basically three main topics. Updates on the existing PS4, a new model of the existing PS4, and a totally new model of PS4 that was going to be above and beyond what currently existed. They gave pricing info, they gave release date info, and basically a lot of the rumors that have been all around the internet ever since, you know, before E3 about the PS Neo and a new PS4 were finally kind of put to rest today with this press conference that Sony held. Now, rather than you go watch a 45-plus minute press conference, I'm going to summarize what happened at the press conference in this video.
Yeah, why listen to Sony? Listen to me. Like, they could just watch 45... He made a video that's half the length of the Sony press conference. If his fans have the time to sit through 27 minutes, they have the time to see a 45-minute press conference. Just saying.
Video, and then give my kind of editorial take on exactly what I think about these announcements, alright? So first and foremost, the biggest announcement, the one that everyone wanted to know about, what is this new PlayStation 4 PS Neo? Is it going to have better graphics? Is it going to have a better processor? What's the deal? That was the question on everyone's mind pretty much all year, ever since it was rumored early 2016 that there would be a new PS4, because let's face it, both Microsoft and Sony have never really introduced a higher level, more powerful version of the same console during a console generation's life cycle. They've had other versions. For example, you had the PS3, but then the PS3 Slim, right? But you never had one that was more powerful released in the middle of a console's life cycle. So a lot of people were wondering, what does this mean? And so finally it was kind of settled today. The new console is called the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's not PS4 Neo, not PS Neo. That name has been scrapped. Officially, it's now being called the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, you can look up the stats yourself, but just from eyeballing it, I could tell you the processor speed, give or take, could be said to be about double what the current PlayStation 4 has. I already see tech heads on the internet kind of debating it amongst themselves. It's double the... No, it's not really double the power. It's this, it's that. It's more powerful. Is it insanely overpowered compared to the current PS4? No. But is it insanely underpowered and underwhelming? Not necessarily either, okay? It also comes with a new graphics card, and the graphics card supposedly is going to add a lot more detail. It's going to help with issues like the frame rate issues that everyone has been seeing with the PS4. You know, it's kind of funny. It's supposed to be the new generation of consoles. It's been out for 3 years. I play a game. I can't even play a game at 1080p.
Oh shit! Got like fucking energy drink on my tablet. That's no good. Like, this isn't a Cintiq, right? If this is a Cintiq, I'd be fucked. Ah, man, this thing has been through a lot, man. One time I don't have napkins on deck. This is very entertaining. Can I at least still? Okay. least he can still do that. I still love that he's still harping on, I can't get my 60 frames on my PS4. Like, if it matters, then get a fucking PC. Oh, wait, he has a $3,000 lemon. Oh, god damn it.
60 frames per second on my PS4, that's kind of an issue. So
Yeah,
supposedly this new upgrade of the GPU and the graphics card combined are really supposed to push 1080p 60 frames per second visuals on a lot of games that have been underperforming as of late. In addition, the hard drive will be a 1 terabyte hard drive right from the get-go, so doubling the installed hard drive space of the previous PS4, which is a great thing in my opinion, because I've had a lot of issues with hard drive management this particular year.
Yeah, that's weird because my PS4 has a 2.5 terabyte hard drive. I wonder how I did that. Oh, I forgot you can upgrade the hard drive space on your own. See, I actually found the 2.5 terabyte hard drive for a very good price, by the way. I found it like maybe for like $90, which I was like, wow, $90 for that? Okay, sweet. I bought that, and it also came, I think it came with like a case to put your whole hard drive in, so you can use that as an external hard drive, which I am using. I'm still using the old hard drive, which is great. But yeah, I upgraded my hard drive. He has yet to do that because I bet you anything he was scarred. He was scarred because I was watching old DSP videos. I was watching on the channel Dipshitville. I know that I feel that there's some controversy with that channel, but anyways, I'm not gonna get into the controversy with that channel, but I don't understand that much. But anyways, I was watching the videos where he was like playing GTA 5 or something, and he was trying to upgrade his PS3 hard drive. Or no, his PS3 died, and he couldn't get his old files onto the new PS3, something like that. I feel like somewhere in that he got scarred to doing that. Or something, I don't know, or he's just an idiot and he doesn't know how that he can upgrade his hard drive. Excuse me. And mind you, I'm not like an engineer, I'm not like a fucking like, I don't know what soldering is. I mean, I know of it, but I've never done it. I'm not like Mr. like, oh, I can open things that do things to a computer or anything like that. I'm just like I just like concepts because they're just simple. I like simple things, okay? And I was able to upgrade my hard drive so quickly. It was so easy. I had an easier time upgrading my PS4 hard drive than the PS3, to be honest. I had the old first-gen PS3, and that, I fucked up one of the screws. So if I ever wanted to upgrade that hard drive again, it would be a nightmare, basically. But fortunately, I don't have that model PS3 anymore because it kicked the bucket, so there you go.
Especially because I've gotten a lot of games on PS4 versus Xbox One. They all require a giant install, so makes sense. Make the hard drive bigger. I don't understand why they started with a 500 gig hard drive to begin with. I always thought that was too small. Now,
didn't upgrade it.
Let's talk some of the biggest controversy / revelations today that
controversies
and or finally got clarification on. Okay, the PlayStation 4 Pro is compatible with all PlayStation 4 games. And moving forward, game developers are basically given dev kits for this version of the PlayStation 4 and said, if you wish to utilize the better hardware of the PS4 Pro, then go ahead and do it.
Why
Make
does
your
this look
game
like
run
shit?
better
Fuck,
on the PS4
I'm
Pro.
abandoning
But they
ship.
made it abundantly clear there will not be any console
Abandoning
exclusive
ship on
games
that.
only for the Pro. Any game that's for PS4 is going to run on any model of the PS4. So if you own a PS4 and you have no desire to buy a new version right now, don't worry. All the upcoming games are going to run on your PS4, albeit they might run a little bit worse. Especially if it is a game that they've optimized for 60 frames per second on the Pro,
What?
it may run at a lower frame rate on the standard or...
What? So games are now going to run worse on the PS4? What? Okay, look, the PS4 is like the base. It's a base unit, okay? The PS4 is a base model, it's base. The PS4 Pro is like the step above, so in a way, when a game developer develops a game for both, it's gonna have to run smoothly enough as it can on the PS4. So it's not gonna like go from like Because games right now, they're running at like 30 frames, whatever. Some run at 60, sure. But if they go on the PS4 Pro and they still run on the PS4, it's not like, okay, now we have 20 frames on the PS4. It's not going to run worse. It's going to run the same as the games that we've been getting have been running. The only time that mattered was with the new 3DS, because the games for the new 3DS are completely different from the 3DS's hardware. But the PS4 Pro, from what I understand, is that it's kind of the same base, but it's just doing 4K and might be able to do 4K and 60 frames, but so far I've been seeing 30 frames. I mean, the new Mass Effect is going to be 30 frames, but some people have been saying that might change when it comes out, or there might be games that might do 4K and 60 frames. But let's say for now that all games are going to be 30 frames and 4K. There's no way that the original PS4 owners are going to get screwed over with performance on that. There's no way. There's no way.
Original PS4, okay? 4K visuals. Let's talk a little bit about this, because this is a little bit confusing for a lot of people today. According to Sony, the PS4 Pro will support 4K visuals. That means a much higher resolution than 1080p, which is the current kind of high-definition standard right now for video when it comes to video streaming and, watching something on a Blu-ray disc, okay? 4K is much stronger, way more pixels, but let's be honest here. I've been to, say, Best Buy, where they've got the 1080p TV and the 4K TV sitting right next to each other. Honestly, if I'm like a decent distance away from the TV, I see no difference. It's only if I walk up to the TV.
You know what's funny? Besides that freeze frame, I had a standard definition TV way before I got this HD. It only did 480p, okay? And it never had an HDMI. It only had, I think it was composite, red, white, and yellow ports. I think that's composite. I think component is the other one. But it only had composite. And when they started having HD TVs coming out, I looked at them and I was like, man, I don't see any difference with this. Why should we ever move from the standard def to the high def? I don't know. I mean, and part of it was out of, as I said, sour grapes, because it's me trying to rationalize me having a standard definition TV and not getting an HD TV, because I couldn't either afford it, or my parents didn't want to buy it at the time, whatever. And it was just me trying to calm myself, because when you're a kid, when you're little brat, you're gonna be oh, whatever, you're gonna be crying Bloody Mary for whatever new thing. Okay, it happens. Everyone was like that. Don't fucking lie. But over time, you're gonna eventually grow out of that. You're gonna be like, okay, fuck it. I'll need it. I'll get it if I have the money. Okay, whatever. You rationalize that kind of shit. I mean, I can see why people want 4K. 4K is probably a dope resolution. I have a 1080p. I'm happy with that TV. So I'm not in the market for a new TV just yet. I like using my products until they can't move anymore, until they're down. Let's put it that way. Once I can't get anything out of something, then it's okay, I need to get something new. But if I can still turn it on and still use it, butter, man. But yeah, I used to use the same excuse until I played Dead Rising. I played Dead Rising on the 360, and the font I couldn't fucking read, because the font was probably the most optimized for an HD TV, because you could probably read it on an HD TV. On the standard definition TV, I couldn't read the fucking letters. It was okay, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I was lost all the time. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. So it was a fucking challenge. And then I got an HD TV. I was oh, this is the difference. Okay, I see the difference now and all that. So yeah, there's probably a noticeable difference with 4K. It's just that we don't see it because we don't see a lot of things optimized for it yet. We only have seen movies optimized for 4K, but that pose. Okay, actually, hold on. I'm gonna save this. It's one of those things. It's too good not to save. Oh my god, no, it's terrible. Oh my god. God damn it! Why are you doing this to me? I'm gonna have so many copies of this. Okay, we got this. Oh, we got it. Okay, so yeah, of course we're not gonna see an obvious difference between 1080p and 4K just yet, because not a lot of things are optimized for it. Games aren't optimized in 4K just yet. I mean, only on computers as far as I've heard. But I mean, even that's like I've heard it's like kind of hit or miss. But movies are a little bit more tricky because you're not going to intently know, and there's also like how the manufacturer makes the TV matters. It matters. But the make of the TV. So this is fucking stupid what he's saying, and yeah.
And I'm like squinting at it. Okay, now I see there's slightly more detail on this one than on this one. And honestly, when it comes to gaming, you have to wonder, how are game devs going to implement this with 4K? And that's, I think, what the big question on everyone's...
It's going to be different. The thing with movies that is a little bit harder, to be fair, it's a little bit harder to see the difference with movies. So I do see where he's coming from with that. Okay, I see that. But as far as games go, that goes a longer way, because in games you're generating the images. Like you're these things aren't pulled in from reality and like, okay, here's the game. It's they're being generated, so of course they would benefit more with 4K than, let's say, a movie. I mean, a movie would benefit from 4K. I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but a game would be more noticeable than a movie.
Mind was today when they're presenting this new PlayStation that's going to have 4K capabilities. We're like, but the existing PlayStation 4 game devs can't get it right with 1080p and 60 frames per second. How do you expect them to do it with another PlayStation 4 with a giant jump in resolution, right? So basically what Sony explained was, listen, no, not every game that comes out for PS4 is going to have 4K compatibility, and we're certainly not forcing game developers to adapt 4K. That's completely within their own desire and range, but we're expecting that AAA studios are going to want to go that extra mile and make some amazing gameplay experiences. And then they went on to show some footage of Mass Effect Andromeda, which showed whoever this protagonist is in this game, which we don't know yet, kind of jetpacking around a certain area. And then they said, oh, there's going to be other games, like a new Spider-Man game that's going to support these new amazing visuals and things like that. So basically what they're saying is AAA games will probably have the support for 4K. Most games won't, but if you want to have that cutting edge of technology, and obviously if you have a 4K TV that can support it, which a lot of people do not right now, then you're going to want to go for the PS4 Pro. Okay, so that kind of clarified. Good, it's not just a 4K gaming...
It also, if you have a 1080p TV, it can still work with a 1080p TV. That's something that he did not even say. I mean, if you have 4K, you're going to get the 4K experience, but if you have a 1080p TV, like you have just a normal HD TV... you'll still be able to use it and appreciate the more processing power it allegedly has.
Console or whatever, it's going to have the option if some game developers want to make games in 4K, but most games probably will not run in it. But the good news is, if you've kind of been disappointed with the performance of your existing PS4 and you upgrade to the Pro, you're supposed to get better visuals even at 1080p resolution.
Okay.
Higher frame rate and maybe some better quality, which we haven't gotten out of a lot of these games. They've been chugging along.
Why can't I draw a rag you? Damn it.
30 frames per second. I mean,
tell you
Deus
what.
Ex Mankind Divided, which I just finished playing, comes to mind, where parts of the game
I'll try that
choppy
image
as hell.
again.
What is going on? It's supposed to be the next gen of consoles, and you can't even run a game at like the standard, what do they call it? It's like the golden standard for HD. They can't even run it at that right now. Pretty ridiculous, right? So, that's one thing. Now, one of the biggest things that was announced that was a surprise was the pricing and a huge omission in the PlayStation 4 Pro model, okay? The pricing of the model is $399 US, the same exact price that the PlayStation 4 launched at 3 years ago in November of 2013. So you might be saying, wow, it's the same cost of what you would have bought before, but it's better. There's better hardware inside, a bigger hard drive, right? What's the minus here? Well, they did kind of come out. They didn't blatantly say it, but after the press conference, it was kind of, just admitted. The PlayStation 4 Pro will not have a 4K resolution Blu-ray player. So I want you to think back way back when now. The launch of the PlayStation 3. Remember when it was announced that it was priced at $599 US and everyone's jaws went, whoa, what? That's just really expensive. But it was justified with the fact that the PlayStation 3 had things in it that made it have more intrinsic value.
Oh my fucking god, this fucking
Bluetooth,
image.
so you can use a wireless Bluetooth headset with it, while other consoles weren't using Bluetooth technology yet, right? It had a certain thing. The one big thing that was the big thing for PS3 was it had a Blu-ray player. Now, this was a time when Blu-ray players were just coming into prominence. HD video was just coming into prominence at the launch of the PS3. So you're saying, okay, so it's $600 for the PS3, but I'm getting a Blu-ray player where I otherwise would have had to spend $200-300 to get a Blu-ray player as a standalone. So really, I'm paying $300 for a Blu-ray player and $300 for a game console. Now it justifies the price of the console, okay? The PlayStation.
The thing with that is that Sony's been losing money with the PS3 because from what I understand, because I read articles about this long time ago. So wherever it goes down the memory hole, I guess. But the Sony was losing money because they weren't. The Blu-ray players were more expensive than what the PS3 was launched at, priced at. So they were losing money slowly but surely with the PS3 at launch. I mean, I guess, but now at this point it's probably different now because Blu-rays are getting cheaper and cheaper each passing year. So
does not have a 4K Blu-ray player. So if you were hoping to buy it, oops, smacked my mic. If you were hoping to buy it, just like you bought the PS3 and you got a cool next generation, movie player, you're not going to get that with the PS4 Pro. It's not included, and I think that's a major reason why the price point is $399. If they had included a 4K Blu-ray player, it probably would have went boop and shot up to probably around $600 or more as a price tag. So there's positives and there's negatives to the PS4 Pro.
Or they have shitty hardware inside it.
Let's talk the second big announcement of the press conference, which was a new model of the PS4. In fact, they announced the current model of the PS4 is basically going to be discontinued shortly. They're not going to be manufacturing any more standard model PS4s. Instead, they're going to be manufacturing the new model called the PS4 Slim. Very similar to the move Sony made with the PS3 Slim. They stopped manufacturing the big chunky ones and started making the slimmer ones. So,
why would they keep...
What's the deal with the PS4 Slim? Is it more powerful? No.
Of course not.
Darn, right? Ah, man, if we could have got the 1080p 60 frames per second from this thing, it would have been a no-brainer to buy one. No. Does it have any new features? Well, yes and no. First of all, it has a terabyte hard drive. So, again, it's like Sony is realizing their big gaffe with the PS4 only having a 500 gigabyte hard drive.
The only thing that sucks about having a 500 gigabyte hard drive at launch was that you would have to pay extra to get the new to get the upgrade. To upgrade your hard drive would cost a little bit more because Sony would not provide it for you. So I guess for lazy people like Phil, this is a great idea. Because apparently he doesn't understand that he can easily upgrade your hard drive. I did it like so quickly. And by the way, people were saying like, if I upgrade my hard drive, I'm gonna lose PT. I still have PT. I was able to save it because it takes longer when you back up your PlayStation 4. Everyone says, "Oh, don't do application data. That's going to take too long." And wrong. What I did was I deleted all the applications that I have, like the games I have disk. I delete all those application stuff on my old hard drive. I delete all that. Then I deleted all the apps like Netflix, YouTube, whatever. So all I had for application data was just PT itself. I just had that. So that way, when I back it up, it's just going to be that, and then I pop it into the new hard drive, hit restore, and my save file and PT all goes back to my PS4. That's what I did. It's that easy. People always say like, oh, it's going to take like a day to do whatever. Fuck that. Delete every other application except for PT. And there you go, you have PT. That's what I did.
PS4 Slim will have a 1 terabyte hard drive inside of it, okay? But the big thing that they kind of push, which I don't understand why this is a big deal, I really don't, HDR. Now they said this HDR will be both on the PS4 Slim and on the PS4 Pro, and then there's another announcement coming next week. This is the third announcement of the press conference. Even your regular PS4, if you own one at home, is getting HDR. It's going to be patched into it. Now, I'm sure that 95% of the people watching or on the internet are like, oh, HDR sounds good, having no idea what the hell HDR is. So allow me to explain.
Yeah, what
I
is
actually
it?
did a little bit of research to figure out myself because I wanted to make sure that my understanding of it was correct. HDR.
He did research?
Dynamic.
Guys, he did research! Holy shit, he did research.
Range. If you don't know what that means, it has to do with the brightness of your brights and the darkness of your darks in your color scheme on your graphics that are being displayed, okay? Essentially what this means is that there's going to be a wider range of colors on PlayStation 4 than there were previously. So when you're playing a game where you're in a dark cave, you're going to see more. It's going to be like, wow, really dark areas, but you're going to see a contrast to the lighter areas, while previously maybe you didn't have that capability. Now, it needs to be said, your television has to be a pretty good one to support current HDR standards. There's actually two types. I think one's Dolby and one's another company, like HDC10 or something like that. But anyway, it's not announced which one they're supporting or anything like that. I know I'm getting super technical now. You don't need to know about that. The bottom line is HDR is coming to every PlayStation 4. So you don't need to buy the Slim or the Pro to get it. It's coming to every PlayStation 4, but your TV might not even support it, and good luck figuring it out until it's there. You enable it, and then you see if your TV looks any different, okay? So in all actuality, the announcement of HDR support is kind of a non-announcement.
It's a non-announcement. So, like, if I had a TV, I don't know if my TV supports HDR. I don't know. I'm that like into my TV. I know, right? It's a non-announcement for me because if I don't know if I support it or not, oh well. I mean, I thought that was a cool announcement that it's being patched in. It's an announcement. How is it a non-announcement would be like them saying, guys, we're going to be selling a PS4 controller. That's a non-announcement because that's like, okay, yeah, we know you're going to make a PS4 controller. Okay. Like,
slightly better for color levels, but that's not a big announcement to me, but that was like a focus of their press conference, which I don't understand.
No, it wasn't the focus.
No.
It wasn't. The PS4 Pro was. They only talked about the HDR because they could. It was like, oh yeah, okay, HDR, it's coming. That's it. It wasn't like, okay, let's talk for like 30 minutes about the HDR, and then last 15 minutes, by the way, we have the PS4 Pro. It's cool. And the PS4 Slim. Oh wait, that's it, thank you. Come back next time. Like,
essentially what the press conference announcement was about was to say, PS4's done, the original model is gone, you can either now buy the PS4 Slim for the price tag of $300 US, so that's good, that's around the price point of the current PS4 of what they're selling it for in bundles and stuff, and that comes with the 1 terabyte hard drive, okay, or you can get the PS4 Pro for $399, so an extra $100, and you'll get better resolution. Hopefully, most games will be able to run 1080p 60 frames per second on it, and the possibility, the kind of the future-proofing, that if game developers want to make their games in better visual quality, such as 4K, they can do it with the hardware inside of the PS4, all right? The big release date, November 10th, 2016. So on November 10th, these are coming out, and they actually already announced, they said if you're going to play Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, that game is supposed to have improved visuals on the PS4 Pro. If you want to play, I'm trying to remember the other game, because they mentioned 2 or 3 major games. Crap. I think they said that Uncharted 4 is going to get patched, so that it'll have better visuals on the PS4 Pro. And they did mention one other one, okay? But basically they're saying nothing, it's only like maybe 5 or 6 games total that will even have this capability within this year, but it'll be in the hands of the developers moving forward, all right? So, how did the internet take this news? I saw people that were super fanboying for Sony. Oh my god, this is a great announcement. I can't wait to get my PS4 Pro and 4K gaming and better, finally 1080p 60 frames per second that we've always wanted. And then I saw people on the complete polar opposite saying, nothing that they've really said in this press conference has convinced me to buy the PS4 Pro. I currently don't have a 4K TV, and I don't even know anyone who owns one around me. It doesn't seem like it's become the standard of technology yet in a lot of places, unless you're like really affluent and you just like to be one of those people who buys the future tech early.
But like the thing is that you can't really promote 4K without 4K things there. I mean, we already have 4K movies, we have 4K players, that stuff exists. It's just that, like technology, it takes a long time for that stuff to actually get going, and all this is so that they have a PS4 for 4K, so that they have a 4K PS4. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past Sony to, like, when they make the PS5, that might support 1080p as well. It's probably going to, but it's also probably going to have a more range in 4K. It's probably going to have a bigger support for that, because probably around the time the PS5 comes out, people are going to have a 4K TV. I mean, like, maybe by the time the PlayStation 6 comes out is when they're going to drop 1080p or something. You know, they at some point, you know, everyone's going to have a 4K TV at some point. It's not going to be now, it's not going to be tomorrow, it's not going to be next year, it's going to be down the line. But it's going to be adopted, because people want 4K. There's no such thing as people saying, I don't want 4K. Like, that no one thinks like that. I mean, with that logic, then, you know, Apple should be losing money for every new iPhone, because then it's like, well, they released the iPhone 7, but I have the iPhone 6S. Why would I ever buy that? It's like, no, there's people going to buy the iPhone 7. Yeah, I know about the headphone chip, but people are not going to care. It comes with an adapter, so, you know, the people who are going to deal with it are going to deal with it. Or the people who are, like, going to be on board with the new way that they listen to music, they're going to be on board with the new way to listen to music. But people are always going to adopt the new technology. It's never, no one's going to just not pick it up because my next door neighbor doesn't have it. It's like no one's going to do that. Everyone's going to buy it. It's a matter of time. Because honestly, if you had the money to buy a 4K TV and you had, like, you paid your bills, you saved up for the 4K TV, and you have the money for the 4K TV, are you not going to buy it? No, you're going to buy it. See you in line, right?
An early adopter who drops tons of money to get it. And let's be honest here, if you even go to, like, a tech store, right, the 4K movie selections are very slim pickings right now. You cannot get many 4K movies, maybe a few hundred, maybe there's a...
Well, yeah, you know, it's the same thing with Blu-ray. When Blu-ray came out, not a lot of movies supported it. I mean, yeah, there was some that went to HD DVD, but, you know, Blu-ray didn't have a lot. And also, with 4K... the issue that a lot of people have been having is that the only way you can get 4K, true 4K, would be to get a physical format. Because it's a big file that no one's internet is capable of downloading a 4K movie. You can stream 4K, but it might not be true 4K. Like, you know, it might be a little bit watered down a little bit because it's being streamed. But I mean, come on.
1,000 total out of how many, you know, tens of thousands of movies that exist. So it's not like it's become mainstream yet. It's almost as if, you know, Sony is like, we want to future-proof our console, but did you actually do research to find out that we would be at that level yet? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy of something like this.
He's only saying this because he can't afford a 4K TV. If he had a 4K TV, I mean, like, well, even if he had a 4K TV, he'd probably say the same thing. He'd probably be like, oh, no. But no one had a lot. Like, when the PS4 came out, I still had a standard definition TV. I still had that. I had that standard definition TV I had since the 90s. I played the N64 on that thing. It lasted a long time. And, man, I was like, you know, when I saw the PS4 announced with the Xbox One, I was like, man, they don't have any component or composite, whatever, compatibility. Like, it's just only HDMI. Same with the Wii U. I couldn't use I wouldn't be able to use the Wii U on the, on my standard definition TV. So I was like, man, that fucking sucks. I don't have an HD TV, but it's like by the time I got it, everyone already had an HD TV. Everyone was going for the 3D TV at that point. But yeah, like, of course there's going to be people that are going to be left in the dust. Because, you know, like, but it's entertainment. I mean, you don't really, like, I don't really care about the PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox Scorpio or 4K just yet because I don't have a 4K TV. So naturally, I don't care about it. But, you know, I see why people would want it, and I see why people are saying that this is a standard. But since I don't have that, I don't really give a shit. But it's like, when a company makes a 4K console, they're only making it for the people who have 4K TVs, or people are planning to. That's why the PS4 Pro supports 1080p, because they're fully aware that people don't have 4K TVs. If the PS4 Pro was only 4K TVs, then okay, maybe that would be an issue, but it's not. It's for all TVs. It's so that if you have, so when you get a 4K TV someday, you have a console that will have 4K support right there. You don't have to buy, like, right now I have a normal PS4. If I get a 4K TV, I would have to buy a new PS4. I would have to buy the PS4 Pro to get 4K PS4 games, which sucks. But if I had a 4K TV, if I had the PS4 Pro, I wouldn't have to worry because I have a 4K PS4 already. I have that there. It's so dumb that he's like, oh, no, like, that's the thing that I also liked about Sony announcing the Slim PS4 and the PS4 Pro, is that the PS4 Slim is for people who just don't care about 4K and they never plan on getting a 4K TV, but the PS4 Pro is for people who are like, you know, someday I would get a 4K TV, and it would be nice to have a 4K PS4 already, so you don't have to worry about buying it down the line. But honestly, for me, if I get a 4K TV, I'm just going to buy the PlayStation 5 at that point. Or the PlayStation 5 Pro, just in case, you know? Like, that's the only thing I didn't like about the PS4 Pro's announcement. That's the only thing that I was kind of bummed out with. It was that now when they announced the PlayStation 5, should I wait for the next version of the PlayStation 5? It's like the whole thing Street Fighter. When they announced Street Fighter 5, everyone, no matter what Capcom was saying, people were like, I'm just going for Super Street Fighter 5. I'm not going to buy Street Fighter 5. I mean, like, why should I trust Capcom? Look at what they do with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's that kind of mentality. It's like, if Sony announces the PlayStation 5, are they going to make that the trip? He's like, I know technology is always going to improve, but, like, are they going to stick with that, or are they just going to make the PlayStation 5.5 or something? You know, like, whatever.
Jumping the gun on a technology level, and I almost feel like Sony is. Like, they think that in the next year, there's going to be this giant market for 4K gaming, right? Almost like, here's a good analogy, 3D televisions and 3D gaming. Do you remember, I'd say probably about 6-7 years ago, all of a sudden, everything was talking about 3D. Every TV you went to buy at the store had to have the 3D technology integrated into it, right? And every game, right? So, oh, we're going to have 3D capability. There's a 3D mode in the menu.
But 3D is a fucking gimmick. I'm sorry if you disagree, but 3D is a gimmick. Resolution isn't a gimmick. 4K isn't a gimmick. It's a fucking resolution. That's like me saying the Retina display on the iPhones are a gimmick. It's not. It's part of the fucking phone. It's part of the resolution. Their computers have Retina display. Their desktops have Retina display. It's not a gimmick. 4K isn't a gimmick. What a fucking idiot.
You could play it in 3D on your TV and all of that. Within a year, it fizzled out and died. Like, it became so mainstream, everyone had it in their TV and no one uses it. It's just a pain in the ass, and it was kind of like a fad. 4K resolution doesn't look that much better than 1080p.
Oh my god, this fucking guy. This fucking guy. Dude, he's such an idiot. He's such an idiot. He is just so salty that he can't get one because of the financial standings, even though he claims he bought the VR. He bought the PlayStation VR. Oh god, I can't go that far back with this. Oh my god. We're not even like we're like maybe halfway, and he's already saying dumb shit. I know he gets triggered by the end, but he's already like 4K isn't a fad. It's not a resolution. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. I'm sorry, Phil, but 4K is here to stay, if you like it or not. And you're gonna be behind the curve with me, Phil. You and me, we're gonna be with our 1080p TVs forever and ever. But 4K isn't a fad. It's not going anywhere. If anything, it's gonna get better. Like we probably won't see a difference yet with 4K, but it's gonna become very apparent down the line. And with games, that it's gonna start to show. Especially with games, in my opinion, because games are a generated thing. They're a generated thing. They're not, being filmed with a camera. That, a camera, like, you might have to buy a 4K camera to get true 4K or whatever. Because I wouldn't be surprised if the movies that are on 4K right now are just upscaled in 4K. They might not be true 4K. They might be upscaled to that format. But I can't say for sure because I'm not into that. I'm not in the know with that.
where if a game dev puts tons of extra time and effort into the development of their game, just for the 4K version, maybe it will look amazing. But let's be real here. We know the mainstream gamer doesn't own a 4K TV yet. That could change in the next 3 to 4 years, but that's my point. In 3 to 4 years, you'd expect the PlayStation 5 will be coming out. So why do we need a PS4 Pro right now? It kind of is just like mind-boggling. I don't understand. What is the purpose of this console? It's not a 4K movie player, so that was out. If that was a 4K movie player, a lot of people probably would have considered buying it because, hey, I got a 4K movie player now. I don't have to go buy a standalone or whatever. And by the way, it plays better games.
What? Dude, he just used the logic I had about the PS4 Pro. Like, just take the games thing and turn it to movies. That's what he said. That's so fucking he's an idiot. He is an idiot. Mr. fucking idiot over here. Oh, yeah, you wouldn't do that for games and movies. Yeah, you would do it for movies. Like, because the people who are buying the PS4 Pro, I'm sorry, DSP, they're gamers, so your movie analogy doesn't really work that much, but they work on games. But here's the other thing I've been noticing, and I want to fucking criticize you. If you're watching this, if this was you, I'm criticizing you for this. When Nintendo announced the Wii, the GameCube, the Wii U, every time they announced that, people were like, "Oh, is there gonna finally be a DVD player?" I mean, when will Nintendo add a DVD player to their console? Oh my god, they don't play DVDs. Wow, Nintendo. And then Sony comes out and it says, "Oh, we're not gonna do 4K movie playback or whatever." And they're like, "Okay, well, we only care about the games." So now you care about the games. So when Nintendo announced that they're not gonna have a DVD player in their console because people use streaming at this point and they want to focus on the games. Oh no, that's fucking shitty because they didn't have a DVD player. Oh, but Sony doesn't have 4K playback. Hey man, that's okay. It's you're only here for the games. If you didn't say that, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about because I've seen people complain about Nintendo's lack of a DVD player while they are praising Sony, while they're telling people that are criticizing Sony for similar complaints, saying that we're only playing games for the games. Okay, so yeah, if you're gonna like praise Sony and criticize Nintendo, then I think we all know what bias you have.
I was gonna play anyway on my PS4, but that's out the window, and I don't get it. I'm just kind of lost. I don't see any motivation for someone who owns a functioning PlayStation 4 to buy the PS4 Pro unless they've been so disappointed with the graphical performance of games over.
But that's the thing, like, it's not for me. Like, the PS4 Pro isn't for me. I have a PS4, and I don't really care about visual fidelity or, like, whatever. I don't care about that, because the games I've been playing on the PS4 right now are fun. I don't care, 30 frames, I don't care. I don't care about 30 frames. I played The Order 1886, that was 30 frames and all that. That game had other issues than 30 frames, I'll tell you that much. It had more apparent issues than that. 30 frames was the last thing in my mind when I played The Order, when I was, like, angry at that game. It was the last thing. But yeah, the PS4 Pro isn't for me, because I have a functional PS4, I don't care, I just like playing games, and the games I've been playing are fun. So there you go.
Over the past few years, or they're rich, and they already bought a high-end, top-of-the-line 4K television that could implement a 4K gaming experience off of the PlayStation 4. And let's be honest here, how many people is that? That's probably going to be like, what, 5-10% of the market tops? So what is Sony going for with this console? It's kind of confusing, all right?
Confusing.
On the flip side of this whole situation, if you don't own a PlayStation 4 right now, this is amazing news. Now is the time. You could spend $300, you get the same gameplay experience as everyone else has been having for 3 years, or if you splurge for an extra $100, you may actually get improved visuals from what most people have been experiencing over the past 3 years, because you might get the full 1080p 60 frames per second that everyone's been craving, right? Absolutely craving.
Still has been craving.
For the past 3 years off of the PlayStation 4 and not really getting in a lot of situations. So if a newcomer stepping up to the plate for the first time, oh man, this holiday season, you're going to get any model of PS4 you buy is going to be a great value for you and compared to what we've had for the past several years. But for those who already have it, it's kind of like, meh. What's the big deal here? with this announcement. It's almost like a non-announcement. Why does this even exist? And why did Sony make another console when they could have just easily waited another 3 years, make PS5 fully 4K compatible? It's very confusing. And again, for the first time that Sony's ever done this in the middle of the life cycle of a console, it's kind of baffling and leaving everyone scratching their heads as to what exactly we're supposed to get excited.
Because they're trying to keep up with Microsoft. Microsoft announced the Scorpio, Phil. Did you forget that?
I have 2 observations of my own that I would like to make on the whole situation. All right? Now, my kind of thought pattern as to if I'm going to get a PS4 Pro or not.
Oh, no.
First of all, when I bought my PS4 3 years ago, when I bought my Xbox One, for that matter, 3 years ago, we were promised the next generation of gaming, that these gaming consoles weren't supposed to be so far separated from gaming PCs anymore. We were promised the highest quality visuals, improved frame rates, bigger worlds, more interactivity because of the processing power of those consoles. Ladies and gentlemen,
He's making these promises up. I've seen their press conferences. They never promised that. They promised a better experience, or like games that look good, like better than the PS3, and they do look better than the PS3. That's all they promised. They didn't promise, oh, this is gonna rival gaming PCs, because that, honestly, if you develop a console and you're trying to get after the PC market, you lost. You lose immediately, because PCs, by the time they announce the PS4, by the time they would announce that console, and then the time that it takes them to release it, the PC has probably already have better upgrades already by that time. Because companies make these graphic cards very quickly. I mean, yeah, sometimes they take longer, whatever. I don't know much about PC, actually, so I guess I shouldn't be talking out of my ass, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if by the time like it takes a console to come out, the PC is already on the next generation of that console. Or something, I don't know. Oh, yeah, it was on the screen.
3 years later, I hate to say it, they did not live up to those promises, and neither the Xbox One nor the PlayStation 4 have shown any kind of significantly huge jump over what was presented on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. It's just that simple. Most games that come out for these consoles are not 1080p. They end up being slightly better than the resolution.
They are 1080p. They are 1080p. Only on the Xbox One it's not 1080p, but okay.
Right, 720p. Now it's 800 or 900p because they have to scale it down because they can't handle above 720p for whatever reason. They just can't handle it. The frame rates, are you kidding me? Frame rates on these games have been very inconsistent, with a few exceptions of games like the Call of Duty franchise and a few pretty good first-person shooters this past year that I can think of. I had like Doom had a variable frame rate that made it incredibly playable. Even though
it now has a variable frame rate.
During the times when it mattered, it usually was. You know,
dude, he said in his review, and when he was like sucking Doom's dick, it's 60 frames, it's 60 frames, it's 60, 60, 60, it's great, they did it. And now it's like, well, it's variable. It's sometimes 60, but it's 60 where it matters. What?
The game's just never even bought. Uncharted 4, the campaign, they're like, whatever, 30 frames per second. We don't even care. Just 30 frames. We never gave you 60 frames per second campaign before. Why are we going to give it to you now?
What?
Man. And it's kind of like, this is supposed to be the flagship title for Sony.
What? That was the funniest thing I've ever heard. Naughty Dog was like, why would we give you 60 frames? We never gave you 60 frames before. Oh, the fucking explainer, dude. I can't believe he actually... I know some of these laughs are just kind of awkward, but you gotta admit, these laughs that I give you are way better than his fucking laughs. So there's that, okay? So if you're getting criticized by laugh, just watch DSP's Sonic 2006 playthrough and tell me which laugh you would rather have.
And they can't make it run at 60.
I mean, some of it is legit. Some of it is genuine laughter.
Like, that's a joke. You know what I mean? And it's funny because the multiplayer does. So the capability was there. They just didn't put in the time and effort to make the campaign run at it.
But you
know what I mean?
It's 60 frames on the multiplayer, but the resolution dipped down for the multiplayer. The fucking research, right?
And it's like, we all bought into the hype 3 years ago.
We bought into the hype,
and we're gonna have the best possible console gaming experience, and it hasn't been. It really hasn't been. In my opinion, it's been kind of a letdown because.
So when you buy a PS4, you basically got the PS3 again. Okay, yeah. The PS4 and the PS3 are basically the same game. That's why they still make PS3 games, right?
Promised the world, and you couldn't even get the standard. 1080p 60 frames per second has been the gaming standard for the greater part of 10 years.
10 years? 10 years? Okay, it's 2006 right now, so 60 frames has been a standard for 10 years. You know what came out in 2006? The PS3. Did that do 60 frames? No, it didn't. It barely did 60 frames. It did barely 30 frames. I mean, it probably did 30 frames. It saw 30 frames. I'll give it that much, but no game, nothing on this planet was running at 60 frames as far as consoles go. I mean, on PCs, you probably had 60 frames on PC. I'm 99% sure PC gaming was 60 frames, but this standard wasn't for consoles. So if he's gonna throw the 60 frame standard, then he should really be a PC gamer, and he should have stuck there. But he bought a lemon. He bought a lemon, and that's why. I mean, it's like me buying I have a MacBook right now, and it's like me complaining that, PC gaming sucks because my MacBook can't run it. It's like, no, it's because I bought a MacBook. I don't expect to play fucking amazing games on MacBooks. I mean, sure, you could probably argue that maybe the newer end iMacs can play the current PC games, but face it, down the line, like a year later, or maybe two, that iMac is outdated because, it's not going to have the same specs as like a newer end PC because the iMacs, Apple decided to make all their iMacs closed-end rigs, so you can't mod them. Because Apple doesn't want you to mod their computers. They don't, so there you go.
PC gamers, are you kidding me? PC gamers have had that forever, over 10 year. Why can't consoles catch up?
Because they get the scraps. I picked up on this when I had the N64 and when I got the GameCube. I picked up on this like that. Because by the time we get these newer end graphics, the PC's already moved on. Because basically consoles have gotten the scraps of what PC has gotten. Because if a console took the newest end PC rig, like the highest model PC, let's say, or the one that can run 60 frames 1080p that Phil loves so much. Okay, let's say that does all that. It's not going to be $300. It's not. The reason why PC gamers get it cheap or get a better price on it is because they already have the rig that matters. They have everything that they need, so all they would need would be like a graphics card. They might need other stuff as well, but like that stuff in and of itself adds up, but it pays off in the long run. By the time because the cost to upgrade a PC is cheaper than buying a new PC from the ground up. That's how it's always going to be. That's why some people might say like, oh, buy a low-end PC first, and then mod it and then upgrade that as you keep it, because you can always open it and put new parts in, whatever. Consoles aren't like that. They've never been like that. So if they were to put everything that's like new end and all that kind of stuff into your console, you're not going to be paying $300 for it. You're not going to be paying $400 for that. You're probably going to be paying probably as much as a PC. Probably as much as that. And no console gamer is going to want that, because the whole appeal to console gaming, and it's the same thing I feel with Apple versus PC, is that people want simple things. They want something to plug into their TV and just play. They don't want to because with PC, like I've talked to a few people who have a PC that, they might have to they might get something set up, but it might not be set up right. I have no expertise in PC. I would have to learn it. There's a learning curve, I would assume, for to upgrade a PC and all that. Sure, once I learn the curve and I get over that, it's going to be like easy. And it might not be that steep of a curve, but I might not want to do that. I just want something just to plug in and play. I don't need to. I might not want that. So it's something how I feel with Apple, where it's like people just want a computer they turn on and just surf the internet and do all stuff. The price points for the Mac is fucking ridiculous. I will agree with that. The price point, Apple charges ridiculous amount of money for their products, but if they want to, if they're willing to pay that much for it, that's what they want to do. It's just, I can see the appeal of the product itself than the price. They might not like the price, but they might be willing to swallow the price. I know, but I mean, these are probably the same people that are okay with them not having an audio jack, but whatever.
So it is disappointing. So now it's kind of like, oh, the PS4 Pro, you can finally get what we promised you 3 years ago if you give us $400 more. That's almost what I feel like is happening here. Well, we couldn't live up to our promises 3 years ago. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Well, it's 2016 now. Now we can give you a better console for a cheaper price because hardware costs have dropped. So give us another $400 and we'll give you a console of what we promised 3 years ago. It's almost like a slap in the face to gamers. Because we were promised to and lied to, basically, through people's teeth.
Where did they promise
Developers
this?
and Sony did not work together to make the best gameplay experience possible for everyone. Neither did Xbox. They're both guilty. I just want to make that clear. It's not just Sony or Microsoft.
But their computer, man.
Both parties.
The controller is like for the gamers.
Now, my second observation, if you're not aware of this, this is for even more niche kind of deal. All right, if you're planning on getting PlayStation VR, which I am, I actually have it pre-ordered at Best Buy. It's supposed to arrive here on launch day sometime in mid-October, okay? Actually, wow, it's only a little bit over a month from now, which is pretty crazy. Now I'm thinking about it. Holy shit, in a little bit of more than a month, I'll be doing PSVR. It's kind of a realization for me.
Views.
If you're getting PlayStation VR, supposedly, if you get the PS4 Pro, excuse me, it will be better in conjunction with the PSVR. Supposedly, better frame rates, better overall performance, less choppiness, and maybe even some better resolution in the graphics, better overall experience with the PSVR on the PS4 Pro than the regular PS4, okay? So that kind of almost, because I'm getting the PSVR, I am, and I know there's games coming up like Resident Evil 7 and stuff that are going to support it. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe I should get a PS4 Pro so now I can do a direct comparison.
Okay, that was a fake laugh. I'm sorry about that fake laugh. I'm sorry. I apologize. That was the worst fake laugh I've did. But that is so funny that he said all of this thing about it. And then he's like, well, I might get it. Like, and dude, I bet you anything when he gets it, he's going to like suck its dick so hard. He's going to be like, dude, this is so good. It's like amazing. This is the console that they should have given us, man. It's so good. Oh, yeah, Sony. Woo!
Play these games on the regular PS4 and PS4 Pro with PSVR and compare them and say, wow, it really is a better experience here versus here. And, you know, here's what you benefit from it. Now, how many people, honestly, are so crazy for VR right now that they're going to go buy a new console for it?
I can name some people.
You know what I mean? Like, how many people? I mean, me, if I were to get the PS4 Plus, or excuse me, the PS4 Pro, it's a business expense, right? It's a business expense that I can write off my taxes. Yes, I have to drop the $400, but more than likely,
dude,
the videos that I'll make of.
I can't believe he gets tax write-offs for doing this shit. I really have a hard time believing that, but okay, he gets tax write-offs. Okay, that's something that is kind of shitty to brag about, to be honest. It's like if I start bragging about, like, oh, I get tax write-offs so I buy a new Wacom stylus. I don't, because this isn't my fucking job, okay? No. But, it's so fucking dumb that he even said that. But then he's like, oh, well, I could buy it because it's a business expense. But not everyone does this for a business. So why would they buy it? Why would they want a console that's said to be stronger and better than the one they have? Why would they want the upgrade? It's like saying, why would people want to go from the iPhone 6s to the iPhone 7? I don't know.
Here's the improved graphics versus the old graphics. Here's a comparison of PSVR on both consoles. With that, I can do, right? I probably make up the cost of it. But how many gamers out there, now we're going to drop the ton of money for the PSVR, $400 more for the PS4 Pro. It's not, and then if you want to get the 4K experience, now you got to buy a 4K TV if you don't have it. Who's going to start dropping, you know, thousands of dollars for all this equipment? It's just out of control.
But like people might buy that just in the future because they might be planning on buying a 4K TV at some point. I mean, I'll tell you right now, like, in the future, I could see myself, like, maybe 10 years from now or sometime of buying a 4K TV. Down the line. So I might want to buy the PS4 Pro so that I have a 4K experience at the ready so I don't have to buy the TV and that at the same time. Because, maybe I buy the PS4 Pro now, by the time that, I decide to get a 4K TV, it's gonna drop in price. Because that's how technology is. It drops in price. 4K is gonna be cheap. Trust me, it's gonna be cheap. It's gonna take a long ass time, but it's inevitable. Because 5K is gonna come out, and guess what's gonna happen to the 4K? Down the price hole it goes.
And then I do have to say this too. I actually liked the name PlayStation 4 Neo better than PlayStation 4 Pro. Because when you say Pro, right?
Wow, okay. Here's the thing. The Neo is dumb because it's like, fucking, oh, Matrix. Woo. Fuck Neo. Fuck Neo. Pro is like, okay, there's so many other devices that have Pro in the name. No one cares. No one has ever thought about it. I would love to think of one right now, but I can't think of one. Like, there's GoPro. I feel like that there was. Do they have a 360 Pro? No, that was the Elite. Oh, I'm surprised that you didn't get triggered by Microsoft saying, "Oh, this is the Xbox 360 Elite."
It makes it sound professional. Oh, so if you're professional, if you're actually a good gamer and you're serious about your gaming, you're going to drop $400 more on this new version of the console. Whether necessarily you're going to get as much out of it that you want or not doesn't really matter. That's the console for pros. Everyone else is just a noob. Everyone else isn't serious. They're just little kiddies who just come home to play games after school. They're never going to be good at games.
Dude, this sums up his fucking mentality on everything. This is like the go-to, like, if you want to understand Phil's personality, go right here, because this is how he thinks. This is how he thinks. He thinks everyone thinks like this. He thinks that, oh, Sony said Pro because this is what they want, or they may not intend this, but this is an unintention. This is such. This part is where suicide comes in, where I want to kill myself. Basically, this is dumb already. I'm getting stupider by listening to this.
Games, they're not serious gamers, right? They got the old PS4, that PS4 Slim, that thing's dumb. No, man, we gotta get the Pro. Like, that name is elitist. I hate it when they have names like that. That
name is elitist. Where do you have to be in life for a name of an inanimate object and whatever, a fucking PlayStation? Where do you have to be in life for that to piss you, to insult you? Where do you have to be in life? If that is the thing that makes you, that triggers you, you might need to, like, reevaluate your life. Just saying, if the PS4 Pro is something that triggers you, then maybe you need help.
Dumb. I thought we were going away from that kind of elitist mentality when it came to games and consoles, and now all of a sudden Sony's like changed the name from something that was generic like Neo. No one's gonna get.
Yeah, change the name from something that only Matrix fans would love and jerk off to. I guess Phil's a Matrix fan, but also, when you buy the PS Plus, you have a plus next to your name. On the PS3, when and I looked at that, I was like, man, that's so fucking shitty, because it's like, all you have no plus, you're not special. Oh, you got PS Plus, here's a plus. But of course, like, at this point, who fucking cares? It's a fucking plus. So who the fuck cares that it's called Pro?
Pissed off at Neo, besides maybe Keanu Reeves. He's the only person. Everyone else, no one's going to give a shit. But all of a sudden, now it's Pro, and now, I don't like that. It's going to put, like, undue pressure on people who maybe...
Undue pressure?
I like to be at the cutting edge of technology, and all my friends are getting the Pro now. I got to be the Pro to stay online with them, or else, I'm just not in with the cool kids, because I'm not the Pro anymore. Versus, the
only people who have this mentality are people who are, like, feeble... Not feeble, but, like... children, because that's what peer pressure is. It's like, you're with your cool kid, you're with your friends, and they're like, oh, come on, man, smoke this reefer, it's so cool, it's so cool, man, come on, be a cool kid, or whatever. And they're like, oh, I need to be cool, I need to be fucking, okay, I'll smoke the weed, and there you go. peer pressure. No one is gonna fucking do that when they're like when they go to fucking GameStop and the people are like, oh, you get the PS4 Slim. Oh man, you should get the PS4 Pro, man. Unfortunately, there might be people who might push for the Pro, but like, no one is gonna no.
Neo, it's not like a status name, and I don't like the name. I just don't. It pisses me off. It might be a nitpick, but that pisses me off. I like the Neo better. So overall, today's press conference from Sony is kind of meh. If anything, it's more kind of questions about why mid-generation upgrade of hardware than anything else. If you're going to have a new console in the PS4, make a new console that can handle a graphical jump so that it justifies a $400 price tag 3 years ago. Don't put out a subpar console that game developers cannot develop for, and now 3 years later, oh, now we're finally putting out the hardware we should have 3 years ago, and you're going to get that 1080p, 60 frames per second experience we promised then. No, that's bullshit. That's bait and switch, and that's bad customer support right there, in my opinion. But it is great news for those who don't have a PS4, because no matter what you buy now, you're going to get something better and a better value for your buck, so I could definitely see that. But for me, someone like me, who does YouTube for a living and covers games for a living, I'm confused. Do I want the PS4 Pro or not? I mean, if some games are going to perform better, and by the way, I record at 1080p and 60 frames per second, and I stream at that resolution quality, so if some games immediately are going to look better because I'm using the Pro, I think that's a cool thing, okay? If my PSVR, when I get it, if I use it with the Pro, it's going to have a better overall
experience. This backpedaling is amazing. He just shit on the PS4 Pro, then as soon as he would shit on it, he would go like, well, it would be cool for my business, and stuff. I mean, I could see that as... Dude, he sounds like a fucking child. Because again, like, this would be like... Because, like, when I was a kid, and my parents... And this is kind of where I kind of grew out of it, was... I told my parents, like, oh, yeah, Apple announced the new iPod. It looks so stupid. My iPod's the best. And it's, like, the best. I don't like it. And then, like, around Christmas time, I was like, oh, Mom, Dad, can you buy me the iPod video? And if you really... It's really cool. And then they would literally ask me, like... Dude, didn't you just say that it was garbage? Like, and then I would start backpedaling. So then after that, I was like, yeah, that's fucking shitty, because it's a double standard. You catch yourself there, and it's amazing that he has no self-awareness, that he just shat on the PS4 like intensely from its reveal to the fucking name, and I was like, well, I can use it to make money and make videos for you, and you can see the difference.
I think that's a cool thing. I'm probably not going to utilize the 4K gaming, because guess what? I don't have a 4K TV, and I'm not planning on buying a 4K TV this year. I was already thinking about replacing my television maybe sometime middle to later 2017. I thought that would be a good time frame to do it. So I'm not going to jump in and buy a new TV early on just because...
Bullshit? I'm sorry, but I kind of vaguely remember, and if Eddie, if you're watching this, maybe you have the forum post or wherever they said this somewhere. I think I read this. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he did say he wanted to get the 4K TV this year. I think he was thinking of getting it later this year. So yeah, I kind of remember him saying that. But I bet you anything, if he's gonna buy it next year, he's gonna buy it after tax season. I bet you anything. Because that's honestly where a lot of people spend money. Is like right after tax season. I guess, I don't know, but he's probably gonna get the new Precious TV there. And Leon, if you're watching this, I'm sorry you're not going to California next year. I'm sorry. His PS4 Pro and 4K TV is more important than being with you in California.
Because maybe 1 or 2 games in the next several months might support 4K resolution on the PS4 Pro. So... if I buy this Pro, will I get $400 of quality out of it by early adopting? And it's funny because the other thing is you can only pre-order it right now. I looked online earlier, only at GameStop. And if you pre-order at GameStop online, they ship it on the 10th. They don't guarantee you'll get it. So everyone else goes to the store and buys theirs on the 10th. You get it shipped, and it might not come till the next week, because you're like, what was the point, right? So if anything, I recommend if you want to get you go to a brick and mortar store where they're going to give
because I've been able to I pre-ordered the Metal Gear Solid 5 limited edition because you can only get online, and they delivered it on time. Like it was there when September 1st. They do promise. They do deliver on like the day it comes out. It's one of their promises. They guarantee it, and you can pre-order. It's just that by the time he recorded this, it was probably by the time he recorded this, only GameStop that was offering the pre-order. But probably by the time this was uploaded and all that, you could probably pre-order elsewhere. But you could get your console day one
on launch day, and I would pre-order it there. All right. So I don't know. Right now I'm kind of on the fence. I really am on the fence about this. Another $400 for a piece of hardware. Let me know what you think. What do you think about Sony's press conference? What did you think about the announcement? Are you thinking you're getting the Pro? Are you thinking you're getting a Slim? Do you not have a PS4 and now you're happy because of this announcement? Share your thoughts in the comments of this video. Let's get a discussion going. But ultimately, my reaction is kind of meh and confusing. I don't know what I should do. Let me know, should I get a Pro? Do you think it would make any sense? All right? That's it, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you later.
Wow, what a shitty video. Meh. It's a meh video, guys. Meh, meh, meh. Alright, that's it. Now, guys, by the time this is uploading, I might be streaming, so I'll put the link below. I'll be playing Metal Gear Solid. Actually, no, let's check the poll. I did a poll on Twitter. I think Metal Gear Solid 5 was winning, so I might be doing that, but, oh, it's on, oh, wow. So, let's see, the polls should be closed. Metal Gear Solid 5, I'll be streaming Metal Gear Solid 5. I will be doing Resident Evil 4 as well later tonight, so there you go. That'll be a late night stream, but I'll be doing Metal Gear Solid 5, so see you there if this uploads in time. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and hope to see you at the stream. If not, hey man, it is what it is.